Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Aligned Feminine podcast. I'm Akanksha, your host, and today I'm sitting down with Tarini Nirula, who is an entrepreneur and designer, as well as a yoga teacher, wellness advocate, author, and podcast host at Yoga Tara. Welcome, Tarini. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Akanksha, for that really special introduction. I feel very honored to be here. And yeah, it's a lovely day. It's Tuesday. It's Hanuman Jayanti, so a lot of inner strength.
Oh,
And
that's amazing.
yes. So it's a great day. And thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being with us. And I do want to, sort of, for the audience and for some context, I do want to say that I actually have met Tarini very recently. And it was almost as if it was love at first hello, because we met and the energy was just like, oh, wow, like she feels home in a way, And then we hit it off and then we met again and we were like, wow, this is great.
In fact, I came up to you because I had been following some of your incredible work. And, this was at the wellness event where I was teaching yoga. And yeah, it was sort of like a mini fan moment for me. So for me to come and say hi, and then I think the conversation just happened. And there's no looking back now.
Yes. And I do want to acknowledge the fact that from the moment I met you, I really felt that you seem, at least to me, to have this balance of your masculine and your feminine energies. And you feel really grounded and centered in who you are, which I find to be very inspiring. And I would actually love to begin the conversation with that and, ask you how you do that.
Wow. Well, thank you very much. I think that's a beautiful compliment. And um, I don't think there's any one particular thing that I do to kind of maintain
Of
this
course.
this masculine feminine balance.
Yeah.
But what I do feel is that yes, I do put in an effort to practice certain things in my daily life that I feel really help me to get there. So, not to get too technical, but since I'm a yoga teacher and, I connect with the practice so deeply, it's been transformative for me. In yoga, we say there's a masculine Shiva and a feminine Shakti energy. And
Mm.
the Shiva Shakti energy is in all of us, irrespective of gender. We all have these energies within us. And there are certain tools and techniques to keep these in balance, which includes breath work, which includes asana practice. But I think at the end of the day, you really need to find what works for you. So for me to
Yeah.
have this balance, which I feel sometimes is also, I mean, the balance goes off sometimes. I think it's not
Of
always
course,
like
of
this.
course.
Sometimes there's an energy that's more predominant when you're being more assertive at work, and
Yeah.
sometimes, when you take a step back and you're just in a very chill and relaxed space, that's the more feminine energy that's working. So, but I think for
Yeah.
me, just breathing, deep breaths have really helped me. In fact, now that we're here, and I mean, you're a breathwork coach as well. So, how about we open this session with like three deep breaths? I'm so used to doing that,
Ooh.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
should we just do that? So, just gently
Yes,
open your
please.
eyes. And this is a great way to just balance, your energies internally. So, relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your lower jaw, and just sitting in a nice upright position, soft smile. We practice three deep, simple breaths, allowing yourself to become more centered, relaxed, balanced in your energy. So, taking a nice deep breath in through your nose and exhale deeply through your nose. Now, the next breath, as you breathe in, allow your abdomen, your tummy to rise up gently. And exhale, tummy falling back in. One more last round. Deep breath in and exhale. Some time before you're ready. For everyone who's tuned in, slowly open your eyes.
Oh, I love it. I love it how just three breaths can kind of bring you back to
Yes,
wherever you are. Yeah.
I think the key for me was something that I've really been practicing. In fact, this is something that I've introduced, which I've found is really making a difference to me, is awareness. So anything that I'm doing now, I'm trying to bring in a little bit more of mindfulness and awareness to that action. So whether it's
Yeah.
me here speaking with you, I'm at least trying my best to be fully present and engage with you, look into your eyes, just enjoy this moment.
Yeah.
And from sipping a cup of tea to like going for a walk, even deep breaths, I'm trying to just become a little more aware. And I feel like mindful breaths with awareness really help me to center myself. So,
Yeah.
to answer your question.
Absolutely. And in fact, this is actually something I also do with my clients that I work with, where, if one of them comes to me and tells me, oh, I was so angry at this thing and it like triggered me so much. And so then what I will ask her to do is, okay, take a deep breath, go inside your body and answer me this. Are you this anger, or are you the awareness
Yes,
of the emotion of anger flowing through you?
yes,
And just by saying this, it instantly, shifts them from being completely consumed with that emotion and identifying themselves with that emotion to
yes.
just being like, oh, I'm simply the awareness of whatever is happening around me.
So true.
So awareness
And
is,
yes,
yeah,
and this is the practice which I feel I am trying to really, understand better and really practice it in my daily life. And I think what it does is it creates a little bit of a distance, instantly.
yeah,
When you're aware, it creates a distance from that thought, from that emotion that usually was so, stuck to like a best friend. We don't want to leave it, right? But as
yeah,
soon as we're
yeah,
just simply shifting into that space of awareness, I feel like that
yeah,
little bit of distance gives you that peaceful feeling. It gives you that feeling that you need to just feel a little more relaxed. So,
yeah. And it also brings you into the present moment, right?
absolutely.
And that's what I think I read this somewhere where it said that when you are here, when you know that you are here in the present moment, there
Yes.
is no past that exists, there is no future. So, your
Yes.
programming and your conditioning has nowhere to go. You're just
Nowhere to
simply
go.
here and you're existing.
Exactly. And I think it's
Yeah,
easier said than done, right? Because we're
of
constantly,
course.
let's
Yeah,
be in the moment. Let's be in the present. But how do you do that, right? So I
mm,
think it's really these practices that once you start experiencing it yourself, it
yeah,
works. It really
yeah,
works. And then I think at least for me, it's been a complete journey of exploration, and it continues to be so. And that's what makes it so exciting and fulfilling.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Well said. Yeah. Okay, why don't you? Because I know you do many things. You have so much stuff on your plate, and I am going to ask you how you're able to balance all of that. But before that, I would like to, hear from you what all it is that you do, like about your businesses, about the accessories that you make. Please tell us.
Okay, so well, to put it in a nutshell, I am a passionate designer, entrepreneur, and I have a brand that I created, gave birth to more than 10 years ago, and it
Wow.
goes by the name of Tarini Nirula Accessories. So I was in NIFT, and after that, it's a design school in India, and post that, I worked for a little while, but I think I always knew that I wanted to do something on my own, and
Mm-hmm.
that spirit was very much there at an early stage. So I started this small little brand, at the time there were not too many people designing occasion wear bags, so I specialized in the category of bags. So back in the day when I started, there were just a few designers, a handful of us. So I think, when I launched the brand, it was a very homegrown kind of a brand where I got my friends to model for me. I got a friend of mine to do the
Yeah.
photography, and I put
I remember those days. Yeah.
those days, right? My first
Yeah.
collection was up on Facebook, and of course, for me, the one of the best parts was like just sitting with the artisans and designing, and that's what
Mm.
I love. So I work with the Indian craftsmen, and so back in the day when that collection was launched on Facebook, my very first collection, in a couple of weeks, it just sold out, and
Oh, that's
it was a
amazing.
and of
Wow.
course, a few of
Okay.
my buyers were also my friends and family. But I also had people who I had never met before who got to know, and they wanted to purchase some of the designs. And that gave me a lot of encouragement and motivation. And
Yeah, I'm sure.
yes,
Yeah.
just the whole process of creating theme was really fun. So after that, I started creating collections, and of course, as time went by, certain things happened like social media, and so that was a game changer, I think. And there's been no looking back. So we've had some wonderful milestones. We've had some wonderful challenges along the way as well. And some of the milestones include we've been featured in Vogue multiple times. For me, these are like the things that really they kind of propel you to keep doing what you're doing.
Of course, of course. Yeah.
And we've had Deepika Padukone carry our design in the volume 83. We've
Ooh.
had Masum Mindawala speak about our designs. We've, lately, recently in 2023, we had some of our designs that made their debut at the red carpet at Festival de Cannes,
Mm.
the French Film Festival, which was amazing. It was really a wonderful feeling. So, Fashion Weeks, I collaborated with one of my favorite designers, Manish Arora, for the Paris Fashion Week at one
Oh,
point,
wow. I
which
can
was,
totally get the vibe though, like the connect with Manish Arora and the kind of stuff that you make because I've seen the bags
yes,
that you make.
yes.
Amazing.
And,
Okay.
I've shared this story multiple times, but I don't mind sharing it once again. But to cut a long story short, I would always keep his photo in front of me. It was just there, in my small workspace, and
Oh,
without
wow.
me really consciously realizing, okay, it's there, I would just glance at it, and it was just there in front of me, and I guess it kind of got embedded somewhere in my subconscious mind that our paths
Yes.
have to cross at some point. And one fine day, I get a call from his office, and things just worked out. And the next thing I know, I'm at his office, and he's sitting, across from me at the table, and we're talking about designs. He's asking me for suggestions, like, how do you think we can match this to this for my collection? And it was like a dream come
Oh.
true. And then later on,
Yeah.
just thinking about it, I was like, yes, I did have that vision somewhere in front of
Yeah.
me, and maybe it
Yeah.
just helped to translate what was there in my mind into a reality. So that was a great
Absolutely.
moment.
Yeah. It's you manifested your dream in a way, right? And that's the whole thing with I think vision boards that people do when they're on the
Yes,
whole journey of manifestation. They put
yes,
stuff that they want to kind of invite into their life, and that's what you did because you had his picture. I mean, you did
yeah,
it in a very unconscious way, but
yeah.
yeah.
I think it's kind of nice when it's more unconscious, because then you're not
Yeah.
obsessed with it, right? And then
You're
that
not
gives you a,
obsessed and sorry, yeah, yeah.
no, no, please
Please
go
go on.
ahead.
You're not obsessed, and also that's the thing, you're also not attached to the outcome because you're like,
Yes,
okay, whatever, if it
exactly.
happens, great. If it doesn't, that's fine too.
Fine.
But then a
Yes,
lot of people get it mixed with like, oh, this is what I want, I'm going to put it on my vision board, and then they every day they're like, oh, when is it going to come, when is it going to come? That's not
yes.
how it works.
You know,
Yeah.
just like, when is this happening? But I think you
Yeah.
just put it out there. It's more like an intention. You put it out
Yes.
there and then you set it free. And
Yeah.
that's it. Then you just go about doing your thing every day, and how it happens is none of our concern. But yes,
Yeah.
to take action is important. So
Yeah. To
uh,
take action and then, yeah, ultimately believe that, maybe, okay, maybe not in the next year, maybe in the next 5 years, or maybe in the next 10 years, it will
absolutely,
happen.
yes,
Yeah. But the how is not my job. The
that
how
was
is
not
the
my job.
universe's job.
Yes. And another thing, now that we're speaking about this, so I was taking you through my journey of Tarini Nirula accessories. And, I truly feel that this whole thing of course, being too attached to the outcome, it doesn't help. Just
Yeah.
to remain a little bit free from it is, I think, a wonderful feeling because it gives you the space also, as we were just
Yeah.
saying, doing our own things. But I think another very important factor in this is to believe that you're worthy of it. That
Yes.
you're worthy of your dream,
Yeah.
that you deserve, some of your desires. And I think
Mm.
that feeling of worthiness and deservability is very,
Mm.
very important.
That's huge. That's a huge one because most people, yeah, at a very core level inside, feel
Yes,
like they are not worthy of the
exactly.
dream life that they desire. Yeah.
Yes,
And
yes,
again, that comes from all the limiting beliefs and the programming that we've grown up with, that
yes.
only if you do a certain thing a certain way are you worthy of just the most basic concept of love. So
Love.
it's like, yeah, that's what we grow
Yeah,
up with. Yeah. Yeah,
exactly,
that's true.
exactly. So,
Yeah.
somewhere I think initially it wasn't so much there for me because I was like, I'm such a young designer, and who's going to look at my work right now? I mean, I do have a lot of confidence, and I always have had a lot of confidence in my design, but in my designs, but the fact that I haven't done like a formal MBA,
Mm.
we come from a very well qualified professional background, my family, but it's not a business family where acha business so blood mein hai
Huh.
ki, so those kind of things. So sometimes that would play on my mind that do I have that? Do I have what it takes to really be successful at business? And I think it's made me thick skinned, that's for sure. That's the one thing that you learn. But
Yeah.
at the same time, when Tarini Nirula accessories was happening, there was a beautiful part of my life that also got me connected to the yoga practice. And this was a few years after I started. So, that amalgamation now of the yoga practice along with the designs and the business and the marketing, the production, the manufacturing, it comes together in a very interesting way for me. So that journey has unfolded in such a magical way, and it continues to unfold like every single day. And um, and you know so so your question was that what are the things you do. So TN accessories, and then there's yoga that happened. I was practicing, and then I wanted to teach. I had a very clear vision. I could see myself teaching, and that again is another story where I got connected to the right school, the right teacher. So I trained with
Mm.
them, and I learned, and some of the best months of my life, because it was another world for me. The study of yoga, the philosophy of yoga. I started to experience yoga for real, and
Mhm.
I the more I practiced it, the more I realized that this is not just about yoga when I'm in the studio on my yoga mat. This is a way of thinking, it's a way of living. And
Yeah.
I noticed that facets of that began to seep into my work, and vice versa. The creative aspects of my work began to seep into my yoga sessions. So
Mm.
it's been a very interesting journey where the two have been complementary to each other, but of course, they deserve their own space and they
Of
require their
course.
own time and
Yeah.
effort
Yeah.
for them to keep growing. And apart from that, I've written a book. It's I call it a small book with a big impact. It's available on Amazon. It's called Serenity Secrets: Mastering the Art of Soothing Practices. And I launched this book at the beginning of this year in Jan 2024.
Amazing.
And
Congratulations.
it was, thank you so much. And I hope you enjoy reading it when you do.
I loved it.
And
I loved it.
yes,
Absolutely.
okay, great. So I think for me that has been really special because for the longest time I'd been wanting to put my some of my thoughts into words, and I'd be having conversations with people and they'd be like, you should really put this into a book. And
Mm,
it happened many times and that got me thinking. But then I was like, how do I do this? And
yeah,
but then I think a part of me found a way, as they say, where there's a will, there's a way. So
always.
kind
Yeah.
of found my way around and decided that okay, I'm going to start. And I had the good fortune of being connected with some mentors who guided me through the process, and they were like, just start writing. So for me, I just started writing and I didn't think much about being perfect.
Yeah.
So that I think really helped, and then it all came together. Process of I think almost a year. It took for
Okay.
everything to come together, and it's a small book. It's got about 30 pages, but it's beautiful, and I think each page has some words that I have connected with, and I hope that it brings a lot of serenity to anyone and everyone who reads it. So, Serenity
It
Secret
does. It does.
is
It does. Because that's what it's like, any page that you kind of open to, you
yes,
find, I think in that moment, for me, that's how it works. So in that moment, if I'm looking for guidance and I just open to any page, that's the guidance I receive.
yes,
And I literally, I look at it as each page has little pearls of wisdom,
yes,
small, small little snippets of
yes,
wisdom.
yes,
So it's really
yes.
beautiful.
Such a nice way of putting it. Yes, pearls of wisdom. And in fact, there's a page that's called Pearls, and it talks about the
I
pearls
know.
of wisdom, right? So,
Yeah, yeah,
and it's been so wonderful because, as I was telling you when we met, that people send me such sweet pictures from the airport, from the beach, and they're just carrying it with them and they're just reading because it's such a light read and the pages are not text heavy. So,
yeah.
you don't feel like I have this pressure of finishing this 400-page book. It's just there and
That
it's
is
there for
true.
you. And so it's been very, very heartwarming to see that it's been well received so far. And I hope that it
Oh,
brings a lot of light and love and serenity, as I was saying. And
yeah.
and of course, another thing is that I love connecting with people and speaking with people and talking about yoga and the light of yoga and design, all of that. But I think at the end of the day, it comes down to what works for you. So I just feel like in my own way, YOLO, right? You only live once, so try and do try and do what
Yeah.
you can to in this one life, and don't hold yourself back, right? So I also launched a podcast thinking all of these things that okay, this is one way for me to create something, and whoever needs something, it should be there for them. And in my own little way,
Mm,
this is doing something. And as you are doing this podcast, right, you've done multiple podcasts with such amazing personalities, and someone listens to it and it just clicks. And for example,
yeah.
I was listening to your podcast with Jia Singh, and I just loved it. I loved the flow of conversation and
Oh,
it
thank
inspired
you.
me. So yeah,
Okay.
so I'm just saying that to have that intention to inspire. And so I have a podcast called the Yoga Tara podcast, and it has some wonderful meditations for different aspects of your life. And it includes things like meditation for road rage. So a few people
I
were
love
like,
that.
we need something. We get so worked up on the road. What can we do? So I was like, okay, hang on. Let me see if I can do something for that. So I
Yeah.
created something for road rage, and then I've done something for, of course, being present. Then I've done something for weight, just maintaining healthy weight. So this is not about weight
Okay.
loss, weight gain. So
Sure.
there's a meditation on just being your healthy weight. And
Mm.
many people have told me that it's really helped them. So things
Oh,
like
that's
this
wonderful.
where
Yeah.
I hope I can make a little bit of this.
Wow. That's a lot of stuff that you do, which is amazing. And now, yes, coming to how are you able to find balance? Like, what do you know works for you and helps you in creating that balance between all these things?
That's a great question, and it's also not an easy answer for me because
Of course.
every day is different. So I think as a personality, for me, I thrive in not a routine, but I thrive
Okay.
in just knowing that every day there's different challenges and a different kind of an itinerary that's lined up for me. So
Yeah.
I really enjoy that actually. I love that aspect of what I do. At the same time, of course, routine to some extent is very important. So,
Mhm.
but to really get that balance between my accessories work and also yoga, I think is to
Yeah.
really just um, you kind of divide your time, right? So I would say time management is a little bit of a skill that I've had to develop over the years,
Yeah.
and to
Yeah.
really allot a certain time slot that, okay, this is the time that I'm going to devote to this, and guilt free. Then I'm not going to be
Yeah.
thinking, okay, maybe I should be doing that, or instead I should be devoting my time to this. I'm going to just work as diligently as I can for the next 2 hours on this particular project because this needs my
Yeah.
attention. And then I get back to. So I think time management is something which is very important. And I'm still
That.
learning, but that
Hmm.
really helps me to kind of balance out, you know, where my attention goes and just the 3, 4 things that I'm doing. So, say for
Yeah.
example, right, I have yoga sessions now. Um, how do I plan these yoga sessions, right? I have my one on one sessions. I love to do group sessions. I have collaborations. And then in the middle of all of that, I have the other work that I'm doing. So it is never a 50-50. It is always,
Yeah.
some days there's 70% tea and accessories and 30% yoga where I take 1 or 2 sessions. But of course, tea and accessories being a more structured
Mm.
format, in the sense it's a company. I have,
Yeah.
employees and working with the artisans. It has that little bit of structure to it. And yoga
Yeah.
gives me the fluidity. So I
Flow.
think
Yeah.
that that balances out to me very well, both the energies of some fluidity and some structure. So
Yeah.
that works for me. Yeah.
That sounds actually, yeah, that's like a great way to sort of put it because it's like, of course, it's the feminine and the masculine energies within you, but it's also about how you make it work in your day. Just like,
Yes,
yes, have some structure and some routine in your day, but then within that routine, how can you allow yourself to flow with wherever you have to flow?
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's quite wonderful.
yes, every day is a different day, and it's all work in progress, I say.
I mean, it's all work in progress till you're alive. So, yeah.
Exactly. It's all work in
Yeah.
progress till you're alive. That's so true. That's so true, and that's a
Yeah.
nice way to look at it. I think.
Of course, yeah. I would
Yeah.
love to know what your daily routine looks like in terms of, some spiritual practices or things that you do for mindfulness. What kind of stuff do you do on a daily basis or a regular basis? It doesn't have to
Yes.
be daily. Yeah.
Yes. So, once again, a lovely question because all these questions also make me think and make me introspect. So,
Yeah.
so it's great. It's a great practice to actually be thinking about these things and vocalizing it, verbalizing it. But
Yeah.
yes, some of my practices that I think kind of take me through the day, which I try to be as regular as I can, is number one, when I wake up, I'm just like, thank you. That's the
Mm.
first thing when I wake up. I've trained myself, and it's come in now
Okay.
after, I'd say, several years probably of kind of instilling that emotion and feeling. So the first thing I do when I wake up, I say thank you. Maybe I'll chant a little mantra of gratitude in my mind.
Okay.
And also there's one more thing that I've started saying now, and I've been saying it for the past, I think 6 to 8 months, and I feel it's really working in an energy
Mm-hmm.
shift. That today is going to be a wonderful day and something amazing is going to happen.
Yeah, I
And
love that. So I do something similar to that. And yeah, I
yeah,
think it completely shifts your energy because then
oh
you're
my
looking for the things that make your day better, right?
yes. And you know, I have been saying this every day to myself in the morning that Tarini, today is going to be an amazing day and something amazing is going to happen today. And of course, initially it feels a little weird. And you know, sometimes even on slightly off days, it's a bit of an effort. But you know, there are
Yeah,
also these days where you're just like, I just know something amazing is gonna come my way and something
yeah,
amazing is gonna happen. And you know, those are the conversations and the interactions that take place, like how we met. I feel that was something amazing that happened that day, right? So
absolutely. Yeah,
uh, what is that amazing now? We don't know, but you
yeah,
know, just to say that to yourself and affirm it on a daily basis, I think is I'm very
yeah.
grateful that you know I've been doing that. So that works. And
Okay, great.
then we spoke about this. I've been doing this thing of using my non-dominant hand. You
Mm,
know, which for
yeah,
me, it's not a spiritual practice, but it's a little bit of uh, understanding your own mind and also
yeah,
seeing for yourself that this is how conditioned we are. So you know, so
yeah,
breaking that pattern and really working from the left, right, left
yeah.
brain centers rather than just one. And
Mm-hmm.
so another daily practice that I do just to challenge myself a little bit is that I brush with my left hand and I feel it's got much better. I feel like I can maybe write a little bit as well, so I
That's
enjoy that.
great.
And
Okay.
you know, so doing something which also pushes me a little bit to do something out of my
Yeah,
comfort zone, I think is very helpful.
always. Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think meditation. So I love my moments of silence when I can find them and experience them. So I try and at least sit in silence, if not for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, even if it's 5 minutes, I will try and find that time and space to just be silent. And of course, my um, while I'm silent, you know, do a little bit of deep breaths. I try and do some pranayam as well, although I'm not as regular as I'd like to be. But you know, I try to do that as far as possible.
Okay.
And I think these are some of the practices where I'm also bringing in more awareness. So
Mm-hmm.
every time I'm doing something, I'm just like, just, you know, be where you are, Tarini. You know, if I'm here and I'm having a having a sip of my water, just like enjoy and cherish and savor this sip of water.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
So, you know, I mean, for me, these are practices where they work. They're working for me. And
Mm.
maybe at some point I try something different and I try something else. And of course, I feel when I'm meeting people, you know, I meet so many different people, wonderful people. I do my yoga sessions. And, you know, it also makes you realize that there's so much out there in the world that's happening that you need to be grateful for where you are and just also look at how far you've come because
Yeah.
our natural tendency is to like uh, think what more can we do,
Yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
again
What's
that's
next?
slightly more masculine energy, like what more can I do, I need to push myself, I need to, you know, I need to get this done. But
Yeah.
also at the same time I try and remind myself that Tarini, you're doing the best you can, you know, just be a good person, do the best you can today, and remember, and I also say this to myself, that I'm a channel, I'm an instrument. So,
Mm.
you know, I think it's so important to be a bit humble about things. And it's very easy. Someone says something nice and you're just like in another zone. It's good to savor the compliments as well. But
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
same time, like, you know, I'm just a channel here. I'm doing certain things, but there is some greater energy in the universe that's also aiding me and guiding me in those
Yeah.
moments of silence. So,
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I actually heard someone, there was another podcast where this guy was saying something similar, where he said, it's three stages usually that people go through in life. The first is uh, oh, why is this happening to me, right? That's your victim zone. And it's like everything is affecting you rather than you affecting everything around you. And then
Correct.
from that, the next phase is everything is happening for me. So you enter that, there's a shift where it's like, okay, I'm grateful because everything is working out for me, and that's wonderful. And then the third one is everything is happening through me, which is that I am the channel. Universe, use me as a channel for your purpose. Like, what am I here to serve? Who am I here to serve? And that's like the third.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if it's the final phase, but that's like the third phase, basically.
It's a good phase. It's definitely a good phase to be in
It's a good
because,
phase. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, so well said, right? Because, I mean, it at the end of the day, the why are we here really? We're here for community, we're here for love, we're here to also experience, and we're here to serve. And
yeah,
there's one aspect of it where you're making money out of your talent, which is also okay. The practice teaches you that it's okay to give yourself that value, even
of
if it's
course. Yeah,
monetary value. But at the same time, there's also a very strong concept in the yoga practice known as karma yoga or
hmm,
selfless service. So
yeah,
you're not attaching yourself to the fruit of your karma or your action, but you're just from your heart happy to serve and
yeah,
do your karam, which is your responsibility. So, and I
yeah,
say this, so many women, they say we're a housewife. But I feel there's a lot of pride in also being a housewife because that is
yeah,
your responsibility, that is your
yeah,
dharma. And if you are carrying out your dharma with um, a certain grace and a certain kind of love and devotion for what you do, then
yeah,
who is to say that that's not a divine role that you're playing, right?
yeah, yeah,
So I just feel like to serve is beautiful, and to be able to do that, even if it's in a small, there is no such thing as small or big. Even if you can devote your time to someone, if you can just, uplift someone, I think, that's just, it's magic. It creates magic without really thinking, what is
it
that
does.
person going to give me if I do that,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, these are, I
And it
think,
also
lessons.
feels really good. Like service also
Yes,
feels really good. So in a way, it is actually kind of selfish because
it is.
you take away something
It is.
from it as well. You are
Yes,
feeling pleasure. And I
yes.
mean, I think that there are some studies out there which say that when you serve and when you help someone, your immune system gets strengthened. So
Gets
you are
strengthened.
also, of course, receiving
Yes,
from serving.
it's
Yeah.
just reminding me of this really funny episode on Friends. I don't know, but I'm drawing a parallel where
Which
where
one?
Phoebe's like, there's no such thing as a selfless act, and Joey is
Hmm.
like, I will prove to you that there is,
I don't
or I think
remember this one.
it's the other way around. So they're both trying
Okay.
to prove to each other and prove the other
Aha.
person wrong, and eventually, uh, you know, uh, I think it's Joey who's like, I no Phoebe. She's like, I got stung by a bee, and
Hmm.
that bee stung me, and the bee, it hurt me. So the
Yeah.
bee got what it wanted, but it stung
Yeah.
me. So that's a selfless act. I haven't derived any pleasure out of it. I've been stung. And then
Yeah.
Joey goes like, do you know the bee dies after she stung you?
I remember
You
this.
know, the bee dies after she stung you. So no, that's
Damn.
not. So it's this thing, where we're just like, is it really selfless? But then you know what? It's okay. I mean, as long as you're
Yeah.
doing something from the heart and it makes you feel good, it's okay. It's all
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're miserable doing it, please don't.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't.
you're not helping anyone. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So again, coming back to deservability, right?
Yeah.
We also deserve that happiness and that feeling of bliss and ananda, as they say, and we all deserve it. So, uh, of course, working hard and struggling and all of that is one part of life. But another
Yeah.
part of life is also to really enjoy yourself
Mm.
and to allow yourself to feel happy in those moments where you can feel happy, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
guilt free.
And this is, yes. And this is again, most of us have again this conditioning where it's like only if you are struggling and just like working yourself to the bone can you achieve like happiness and success and pleasure. But then again, in so many ways, that is a sort of a limiting belief, because it's like, can you instead see if you can enjoy the journey as well, and then the outcome itself will be pleasurable as
Yes,
well, so you don't have to actually struggle that hard, like,
yes,
because
so true.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love that. I think another thing that I've learned is that, of course, we all have goals, right? Even our vision boards, in a way, they're like we're setting goals for ourselves. We all have our desires, we want to be in a certain
yeah.
space 3 years from now, 5 years from now. That's all really good,
Yeah,
right? But at
yeah,
the same time, like, who is to know what's going to happen in those 3 and 5 years, right? So, what
yeah,
we have really is the journey. And
yeah,
I think the entire journey is really the destination.
exactly, yeah, yeah,
That is what we want to enjoy. And if we are so obsessed with the goal that we forget to savor what we have in this moment, then what's the fun in that, right?
yeah,
So as you
yeah,
said, to really enjoy this journey, and the journey itself becomes the destination. Like, this is where I'm meant to be, this is what I'm meant to do, this is it,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And then you take another step forward, another step forward, keep
exactly, yes, yeah,
and
because if I
eventually.
was given, sorry, go on.
No, no, I was just saying goals are more like milestones, it's like a long
Yeah.
line, and I feel like
Hmm.
there's one milestone, okay, but the journey is still on, then
Yeah.
there's another milestone, then but the journey is still carrying on. So at the end
Yeah.
of the day, we're here to enjoy the journey.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like, if I'm given a clear choice between just like slogging my ass and struggling and being miserable for 10 years, and then at the end of 10 years getting what I've always wanted, as
Yes,
compared to just being in pleasure and joy for 10 years and then maybe getting either less than what I wanted or maybe even possibly more than what I wanted, then obviously I will personally choose pleasure in 10 years, and uske baad
yes.
dekhenge, like what happens.
And exactly. And everyone makes their own choices and decisions, I think. But
Yeah,
those choices and decisions that you're making is what shapes the quality of our life, right? And
yeah, yeah.
now, how are you
Constantly.
making in absolutely in every moment we're making a decision. What can I
Yeah,
say right now to you?
yeah,
It's a decision
yeah.
I'm making in a microsecond, right? What do I
Mm-hmm.
do next? It's a decision I'm making. So our day is filled with the choices and the decisions. And I feel if you're in joy, if you're in peace,
Yeah,
if you're in a relatively good space, I'm not saying a perfect space, but a relatively good, fun space, um, those choices will also be conducive to that joy,
exactly. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And this also brings me to another thing that I've learned, which is laughter yoga. I don't know
Oh
if
yeah, I was curious about that. I was curious
yes,
about that. Yeah.
a lot of people are curious because the first thing they think is it the elderly people who are laughing in the parks?
Yeah. Ha ha ha.
Ha,
Oh
ha,
God. Yeah. Is it
ha.
that?
Well, that it's a it's a small part of the
Okay.
concept of laughter yoga. And initially, even for me, it was I learned it out of curiosity, nothing else, because I was like, I
Okay.
want to know what this is. And because for me, yoga is it's hatha yoga, it's reading the Yoga Sutras, it's the Bhagavad Gita. What is this laughter yoga, right?
Yeah.
And when I attended the course in Bangalore, it was such a transformative time for me because laughter
Wow.
is healing. It's
Yes.
healing,
Yeah.
and it brings out the playful nature within all of us. And
Mm.
the more we grow, the less we become, the further we go away from that inner child in us, that playful like nature in us.
Yeah.
And I feel like
Yeah.
the number one thing that laughter yoga taught me was the reason why it's actually laughter and yoga is because
Mm-hmm.
you're learning the science behind laughter and what
Okay.
it does when you're able to breathe properly while you laugh, right? So there are certain exercises
Oh,
and certain
okay.
practices attached, around the laughter that we learned. But at the end of
Okay.
the day, one of my biggest takeaways was that you do not need any external source to generate laughter, and your
That,
body
yeah.
and mind does not differentiate between real or just kind of,
Yeah.
you know, starting to laugh a little bit at nothing, that kind of
Yeah.
laughter.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
self generated laughter, in this moment, if I start laughing, it will become into genuine laughter where I may have tears rolling down my eyes, and the kind of
Wow.
the kind of hormones, the feel good
Yeah.
hormones, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, all these hormones that are being released, they make you feel good and they boost and strengthen your immunity big
Yeah.
time, right?
I
And
love
there's,
that. Wow.
there's just a lightness, there's a playfulness, there's a lightness, and there are so many of us that hold ourselves back. It breaks that barrier. It
Yeah.
breaks
Yeah.
that barrier of like, I have to be prim and
A
proper
certain
and
way. Yeah.
certain
Like in a
way.
box. Yeah.
Yes. And I'm also,
Yeah.
I would say, very much like that in many ways. I won't hesitate to
Okay.
say that because, you
Okay.
know, you want to be a certain way, you have an image that you need to maintain, and all
Sure.
of that. But the more playful side of things, laughter yoga has taught me is that it's okay to just have fun, chill, to laugh,
Yeah.
to not take everything so seriously. And you don't have to have a reason to laugh. Like, I can just laugh, you know.
I
So,
love
I
that. I
think,
love that.
yeah.
And then I'm still curious though, like in laughter yoga, then are you actually also practicing yogasanas, or is it just the laughing and the breathing?
So it's the breath work with the laughter,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
um, and then there are certain sessions that we practice with laughter that's being generated through various exercises. So the
Okay.
exercises are not necessarily yoga postures, but they
Okay.
are exercises that kind of bring out that childful, like playful side in you, right?
Oh, cute.
So
Like a
whether it's
baby's pose,
standing,
maybe?
yeah, maybe like a baby pose, maybe when you're clapping
Okay.
your hands, maybe when you're doing a
Okay.
certain movement, and
Very
maybe when
nice.
you're doing
Okay.
a certain action, you know, uh, these kind of movements, actions, they bring out a more playful side in you, and you combine that with laughter and breathing, and that's
Okay.
when you're releasing a lot of that blocked energy.
This
Because
sounds so delicious. I am going to try whenever you have the next
yes,
class. I would
yes,
love
please.
to. Wow.
We'll do this together, and it's really wonderful. When you practice it together, it's amazing sometimes what you see, the way
Mm.
people just open up and the way they instantly, and another thing is, when you're laughing, okay, I'll ask you this question, like when
Okay.
you're laughing, what are you thinking of,
Nothing.
right?
My
It's
mind is
very,
empty. Yeah.
yeah,
So it's
very
meditative in a way.
difficult.
Wow.
Yes, it's very difficult to be
Yeah.
thinking of like five different stressful things
That
in
is
that
true.
moment when you're actually laughing. And
Yeah.
they say that when you laugh, your thoughts have dissolved in that moment. So you're in the present moment. And
Wow. I love that.
there's of course, there's proper research that has proven that
Mhm.
just laughter, the science of laughter, and what it does, and it's right here.
Yeah.
All you need to do is
Yeah.
find a way to
Yeah.
generate
Yeah.
it and not be worried
And
about
just
what.
exactly, yeah. Just in, I think the initial phase is not worry about looking stupid, because I think
Yes,
most of the population is just so hung up on that that they
yes,
never get to actually experience their inner
yes.
selves in a way. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So it's really about, it gives you a lot of confidence as well in yourself because
Mm.
you're not
Yeah.
thinking so much anymore about what other people think of me. I'm being who I am. Of course, I'm respectful, but
Yeah.
I'm also who I am. So it's okay to laugh and have fun.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I know you are very fascinated with Himalayan yogis these days. So I would love to know more about why you are fascinated and what's up with that whole situation. Tell us.
Oh, well, I think I'm just in general very fascinated by the Himalayan range, the Himalayas. I'm very fascinated
Mm,
by the snow-capped mountains. Um, I've been reading books that talk about um, yogis and going back to many hundreds of years ago as well. Um, I've been reading a lot about these yogis who practice and they develop certain siddhis or powers. I have been reading a lot about um, just life in the mountains and how there are certain individuals who find a way to live there for many, many, many years. And,
yeah.
when people have met them, they come across as though they are, ageless, they're timeless. And so, just that whole very mystical aspect of the mountains, snow, these individuals who are there. How are they living there in caves? How are some of them don't eat for years, and
Yeah.
um,
That's insane.
what they're
Yeah.
doing is, of course, practice. They're doing sadhana, and
Yeah. All
so
the time, I'm assuming.
all the time, yes,
Yeah.
and they're fit. A lot of them are fit, and so just that world for me is a very mystical kind of a world, and I'm drawn to it. I don't know, maybe it's just a phase, but I'm just drawn to reading books about it. I think about it in my mind, and yeah, it's all very fascinating because I feel one of the reasons why perhaps this is fascinating to me is because I realize that the closer you are to nature, something begins
Hmm.
to
Yeah.
happen. And I remember I was traveling to Bhutan, and
Oh,
there was
I
a part of
love
the
Bhutan.
night. Have you been?
Yeah, I've been.
Yes.
I've been.
So you may
Yeah.
know, you may be familiar that we were traveling and both ways, right, to and fro. Um, we could see the Himalayas, and while we were flying, just and you know, I remember I was listening to a beautiful mantra, and I was just gazing at the mountains, and I was like, what's out there in those mountains? It looks
Yeah.
so mysterious and it looks so beautiful, and and
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah.
um, I've also been, I saw this beautiful documentary on Netflix called 14 Peaks. And it's
Oh,
about this
yeah, I've seen it. Wow, that's some powerful stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
incredible, right? Like literally transcending so much.
Yeah.
And it's all in the Himalayas, in the snow-capped
Yeah.
mountains, of course, different ranges. Um, but yeah, there's something about nature, I think, that I'm drawn
Yeah.
to. And um,
Yeah.
and I feel the closer we are to nature, the more closer we get to ourselves. And
Yeah.
it's incredibly fascinating. So
Yeah. Yeah, because we, like you said the other day, we are nature, right? So the
yes,
closer we are to, well,
yes,
where we
to who
came
we
from.
are.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So it's a lovely feeling. So I don't know how long this phase is going to last, but I'm definitely reading a lot and listening to a lot and watching a lot of uh, you know
Yeah.
information on.
It's so fascinating to, yeah, it's so fascinating to even just try and imagine what kind of like experiences these yogis must be having, right? Just
Yes,
because you're meditating the whole damn day. I
yes.
mean, I don't think you're on planet Earth anymore. Like you're somewhere
Yes,
else.
yes. And
Yeah.
again, we're not really here to renounce life and just go away and live in the mountains. That's not, at least for me, that's not what I foresee for
Same.
myself, right?
Yeah. 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 I like my
We are
cold
living.
brew too much.
Yes, exactly. So
Yeah.
we are very much here But
Yeah.
why can't we create that kind of a space within ourselves and around ourselves while being where we are? And in fact, um, many, many people say in the yoga practice that it's more challenging to be in this world and practice rather than renounce
Absolutely.
everything and go to the
Yeah.
mountain, because there in any case everything is so
Yeah.
conducive to the practice and the meditation, the
Yeah.
sattvic food. But it is actually here, living in this
True.
day and age, this moment, where the
Yeah.
real practice happens. So I think
Yeah. Because
that's,
yeah, because
yeah,
I feel that, for us, we are so used to this life and we're used to living in cities. It's almost as if that if we were to go to the mountains, it's like we're trying to escape our life.
yeah,
And
yes,
then you're not going to find your solution in an escape. You have to be where
absolutely,
you are and then create the life that you want where you
yes.
are, right?
So true. I
Yeah.
love that. So true. And can you just remember the last time you were in the mountains? Do you remember it all? Um,
Yes, of course.
and how did that feel for you?
I love the mountains. I love the mountains. I love the beaches. I can live
Beaches?
in a beach, on a beach full time. Like mountains, I can't do in the winters. But the mountains have like a certain special, different vibration to them altogether. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So, so much like you, I love the mountains, but I think I'm a total beach person as well. I
Yeah.
just keep watching those sunsets, keep listening to the waves, keep
Yeah.
walking in that water barefoot on the beach, and
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
never gets old. But
Never, never. Oh my
never,
God.
right? And every
Yeah.
sunset is different, every sunrise is so different, the sky is different. And
Yeah.
the reason why I ask you this is because just talking about it makes you feel happy. Just thinking about it makes you feel happy, right? So,
Always.
um,
Yeah.
but to be able, but the real, I think the real sadhana practice is to be able to create that space, as you said, wherever you are.
Yeah.
So, couple of days you travel and then you come back and you have those withdrawal symptoms like, oh my God, I'm still there mentally, and that happens with me. It takes me a couple of days to like just settle in. But,
Yeah.
the last couple of times that I've traveled, I've really been making a conscious effort to just gently remind myself that now you're here,
Yeah.
so create that space here.
Yeah.
Because if you were feeling that there, it was the outside atmosphere that made
Yeah.
you feel like that, but internally you were feeling like that. And
Yeah.
that person is here now.
Yeah. And
So,
you have the power to
and you
create
have the
whatever you
power.
would like. Yeah.
So create that space within you to feel, that bliss within the
Yeah.
city. And I think
Yeah.
that's the real stuff.
And I think, I mean, I don't know, I could be obviously there are many facets to this, but I think it also boils down to because being in nature, nature is slow. Nothing happens instantly in nature, right? So what you actually enjoy is that slowness and that stillness of your life, which is
Yes.
then I think we have to sort of try and create over here. Obviously, there's other stuff also, like trying to go and find time in whatever nature you can find here, like in
Yeah.
Delhi and Gurgaon, of course. But yeah, I think the slowness is the inner caramel gooey part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. The nectar, it's the
Yeah.
juice. It's um of course, because our lives have become consumed by just fast-paced decisions, quick decisions, multitasking, social media, scroll, scroll. They're saying, make reels that are not more than 15 seconds because no one watches it for. I mean,
Yeah.
really, like that's how long our attention span is now. So,
Yeah.
uh, in this kind of a world that we're living in, slow has become a real luxury, right?
Yes.
And I remember I was on the beach and I was reading this book called "Slow is Beautiful,"
Okay.
and it's a beautiful, book, and it's sort of like a journal, so it has these lovely prompts and
Okay. Okay.
beautiful artworks inside, and literally you just see the book and you start feeling like you're slowing down. you know,
Mm.
and I remember just sitting and I was like, you know, really time has slowed down and
Mm.
this moment has slowed down. And, I don't want to look at my phone. I don't want to be living in the past or the future. I just want to be here and I just want to slow down, right?
Yeah.
And that's why when they say take deep breaths, that's also like kind of you're slowing down your thoughts, you're slowing down just everything that's happening within, just for that millisecond, that microsecond. So slow has really become a luxury now.
That is 100% true. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
All right. Okay, so on that note, I would like to ask you if
yes.
you could give one piece of advice to a younger version of yourself, what would it be?
Worry. Don't
Mm.
worry so much. You know, um, I think I remember when I was young. I would wonder, what is it that I'm going to be when I grow up? Are these marks enough? Um, just I'm talking about that young, right?
Yeah,
And what I would tell myself is that don't worry. It all turns out just the way it's meant to be. Just enjoy yourself, relish that time, and don't worry. Just don't worry. It's
that's
all good.
beautiful. Yeah.
So this is not very deep spiritual advice. It's just as simple as don't worry about stuff. It's okay.
Mm.
I feel in any case we end up where we're meant to be.
Yeah.
So either you do it with a struggle or you do it with
Exactly.
joy, right?
Yeah.
And that is
Yeah.
the choice you have to make. I'm gonna end up where I am through the choices I make. Might as well choose a joyous path. Do that.
So true. So well said. Yeah. Yeah. When you said the thing about, are these marks enough? Yeah. Oh my God. Because I was that A grader, like nerd, fully like studying all the time.
Yeah.
And then after school, it was like I was preparing for IIT and AIAAA. And then I got into NIF and I did fashion designing, right?
Oh my God. So,
And then
yeah,
from there, now it's like I'm just making people breathe now. So it's like,
yeah,
yeah, the marks don't matter.
the amount of, just worry that people go through just to get 5 marks more. I mean, of course, I get it. It's the education system, right? So I'm
Yeah.
not, I'm not saying anything to that, but I'm just saying that why not introduce certain other valuable life lessons within, like if someone, I mean, of course, I feel like I've had the most supportive family. I would really
Hmm.
want to say this, that family makes such a big impact, and
Of
I have
course.
been truly blessed and grateful. My parents, my sister, my friends, always supported me, always encouraged me. But not everyone has that, you know good fortune. People have to sometimes fight against and struggle. So I'm just saying that, you know, those marks are there, but I wish they would just inculcate some life lessons like, you know,
Oh,
finances, like,
man. Yeah.
um, just like values on, just your friendships and,
Yeah.
just like these things in
Just
school.
how to just process your emotions in a
How to
healthy manner.
process your
Like
emotions.
nobody knows how to do that.
Yeah, if I'm feeling sad about my marks, what do I do? Now there's therapy. I mean, I know young children, go to
Mm.
therapy, which is fine. That's also one way of talking about. But if it was
Yeah.
just made, as a
Yeah.
part of the curriculum, like how wonderful would that be? You know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yes, I'm so grateful we met. I just
Yeah, same, same. I cannot wait for my laughter yoga session with you.
Yes, and I cannot wait for breath work with you. What we were
Oh,
talking
yes.
about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool,
Yeah.
cool. Okay. So now wrapping up the episode, Tarini, I would love for you to tell us if somebody wants to work with you, where all can they find you?
Okay. So the best way to reach out to me is Instagram.
Okay,
So
cool. Yeah.
since everything's out there, what I do, what I practice, you can directly message me there. My handle is Tarini Yoga Tara. And
All right, I'll put that in.
yes, I'm available there. And of course, my handle for our design brand is Tarini Nirula Access. So, that would be one of the best ways to reach out. We also have a website, tarinirula.com. So just Google and I think you have access to enough information. But yes, Serenity Secrets is on Amazon. So I would love for people to just have access to that beautiful book. People are gifting it to their friends and their relatives because it's such a cute thing to do.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think that's. I can share my email with you. Maybe you can put it out there somewhere.
sure.
That's another channel. But I think
Yeah.
Instagram is a great way to just do it. So
All right.
LinkedIn,
Okay.
multiple channels. But yeah,
Yeah. All right, Tarini, thank you so much for joining me today, for sharing your wisdom, your beautiful thoughts with us. I loved chatting with you today. Thank you, and I will see you soon.
thank you so much. And I just want to say that you're a light, and may you continue to share your beautiful light. And I love the fact that we're connected. And thank you for this opportunity. And thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you. See you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye. See you.